What's up? Oh my gosh. Well, time to wrap it up. It's about time for me to hit the hay.
Do what you do, baby.
You get one of the new chicken sandwiches?
I did.
Did you get stabbed?
I did not. I had one before that shit went down.
All right. We're momentarily safe. Momentarily. Where the fuck is EJ? Huh? Like I'm about to beat his ass. Let's see what. Greg playing some fantasy. I'm about to turn on this. Oh, El Sonidito.
Yep, it happened in Clinton, Maryland, buddy. Like my brother, he actually lives really close to that Popeyes.
Annoying.
Yep, it's not just PG County. It's everywhere, man. It's just who's willing to go the extra mile to actually kill somebody over one. That's literally what it is.
Jesus.
It's literally what it is.
You see the probably not because of wrong tab. LTG posted this video of these like bitches like crashing their cars into each other and shit.
Oh my god.
Fucking trying to get some chicken sandwiches. And he's like, you know, blah blah blah. You know, these Neanderthals. But you know that's not what he said. He said the other thing. The other N word. All they want is some chicken. I'm like, oh my god.
Well, just let it rock real quick.
I mean, I could, but I don't want to be on cooldown for another year, so.
I hope you like it. It has our song on it.
I mean, Strog's been on cooldown for. I think he might just be off now. Because he said it at least 5 times. Hassan's on cooldown for another 5 months.
Nah, he's straight though. He didn't say ER.
He's on cooldown from losing money.
That's messed up.
Can you turn your cam on?
No.
I'm trying to see you lean into the mic. Just go, lose some money. Hey, shut up. Turn the cam on. Jesus Christ. This is like an ASMR stream now.
Definitely not doing that.
I think we are. Hey, EJ, you know what month it is? I think you do. It's No Nut November.
Yeah, I'm a prime advocate of it. 6 days in, man.
Holding
Going
my
strong.
big ass container of dry roasted peanuts.
Going strong.
Oh, what's my new prime loot? Oh, there we go. Ernest. He has no help. When the hell are you gonna give me some loot for Modern Warfare? Trying to get my game on.
All I know is that I've been on double EXP recently. Shout outs to Mountain Dew's Game Fuel.
And you didn't share any codes with me? That's crazy.
I think I got one in the recycling bin. I'm pretty sure there's one I didn't use.
You said have your trash code.
Cause they're restricted. You can only use one a day.
Really?
And then the double EXP only lasts for 15 minutes.
Yeah, and it doesn't like go on cooldown when you're in the lobby.
Yep.
That's crazy. That is crazy. No. Oh. So we've all assembled.
Yep. Time to bust this thing wide the fuck open. Alright, let me turn off this music. Ugh. Alrighty. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen out there in Streamland, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Crash the Net podcast, episode number 25. We have made it to a quarter of a $100, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. But we're in there, and we're joined by your regulars, as you know, myself. Got the homie Nick Stone in the house. Got young Greg in the house, and we got young Ernest in the house as well. So, how everybody been doing?
Living life best I can. Avoiding these chicken sandwich stabbings.
Jesus. I mean, that's not too hard to avoid it if you're just not waiting for one.
We'll see. We'll see how it is down here.
Virginia, I expect there to be lynchings for it. You know, it's not going to be more so black on black, but like white on black crime.
Oh my
when it comes
God.
towards like chicken sandwiches and stuff there. That's what I expect.
White people
That's
don't
Virginia.
like Popeyes, so
There was definitely a white person in Popeyes when I got mine, because we went through the drive-through and we had already ordered, but we wanted to get one more thing because they also have the frozen Cane's lemonade that is actually really fucking godlike. Like, I got one, but Tiana want one, but she didn't order one. We got one, so I went on the inside. And
the Tiana special.
honestly, the tech is to go inside. Like, the drive-thrus, the lines are ridiculous, but like walking inside, it's actually pretty fast when it comes to getting the chicken sandwich. I believe I was like the fourth or fifth person in line, and they were almost through the entire drive-thru since they already ordered. And by the time they came in to tell me that they ordered another frozen lemonade at the window, I was about to go up to the register. So the tech, if you honestly want to try out the Popeye's chicken sandwich, you've never had it before, is to go inside. Don't go through
Well,
the
that's
drive-thru.
good to know because I'm gonna try and see if I can go tonight, depending on how
Yeah.
it looks.
Go on the inside. Don't go through the drive-thru.
I never go through drive-through. That's the lazy
Yeah.
way. That's
Yep.
what everybody does.
That's why the lines are ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know. But while I was in line, this white lady comes in after me, and
jeez.
I guess she wasn't into the mix up. She didn't know that they had the chicken sandwich there. So she comes in and she goes behind me and she's like, "What are they giving away free chicken today or something?" And I just look at her. I'm like, clearly you're out of the loop.
Good.
You know what I mean?
That's good.
But it's funny because it's like I feel for the people that just want to get regular Popeye's chicken, like a regular box or like, you know, a combo deal or anything like that, and they aren't looking for the sandwich because they have to suffer through these lines. But at the same time, I'm not mad at Popeyes because outside of us, because we just got the sandwiches, a lot of people, not only were they buying sandwiches, they were buying like family boxes of chicken and shit. Like in the drive-thru, the dude behind us ordered $70 worth of Popeyes. Blew my fucking mind. And then on the inside, I definitely saw a person walking out with 3 sides, a family box, and 4 chicken sandwiches. That's probably around $50 worth of Popeyes. So, you know, they're making a killing out there. Shout outs to these sandwiches. And I can attest for the quality. The quality is just as good as it was the first time. So they didn't do anything to like change the recipe or skimp on it or anything like that to meet supply and demand. It's literally the same sandwich. So yeah, that shit's it's here, and people in my hood are getting stabbed over it. So right up the street, not even 15 minutes from here in Clinton, somebody was stabbed to death because they tried to cut the line to get a Popeye's chicken sandwich. So we can officially say we've had our first death over one. It's kind of hairy. I like honestly, I wish that shit happened somewhere else. Like it could have happened in New York or like Atlanta or some shit. Why'd it have to be Maryland? Like, come on, man.
Just how things go. Can't predict the chicken stabbings.
I was really fucking disappointed. But outside of getting chicken sandwiches, Saturday attended the championship parade for the Washington Nationals. Congrats, people, for finishing the fight, and it's pretty cool. You know, it was a fuck ton of people to the point where like it was actually like messing up cell reception and such.
It was a lot of people.
But I'm glad that I went, because now it's something that I can say, because we're probably never gonna have another fucking championship parade in DC ever again. Like, it's kind of crazy that we've had 3 championship winning teams in the past 2 years. Like, that's,
I mean, we have the women's, the Mystics.
that's what I'm saying. They're gonna have one more. That's in the
yeah.
spring.
Yeah, but other than that, yeah, I think they've seen
used
the
all the-
aftermath that it
Used all the juice up.
motherfuckers. We got the subway catching on fire. Got
Yeah, I don't know whose bright idea that was to run the fucking
trains
metro
every 4 minutes.
every 4 minutes. They should have known better. There's no good that's gonna come of that. If it wasn't a tunnel fire that was gonna happen, somebody probably would have been ejected from the actual train or some shit, or the trains would collide, or just it's not smart. Come on, man. Like, granted, it was
They
a fuck
didn't
ton of
think it out.
people, but they should have encouraged people to walk. Like, definitely should encourage people to walk. But outside of that, all in all, it was dope. You know, it's cool to hang out with the homies. It's just all around good time. And
Young Sleepy was there. That was cool.
yeah, it was cool seeing him. I haven't seen him in a long time, though we've been in the same vicinity like at least 4 times in 2019, just never crossed paths. But yeah, it's all good. I know Nick, he pretty much spent his weekend with me on Saturday.
Yeah.
What's going on with you, Greg? What's new?
I was on call last weekend, so I couldn't do but so much. So stuff did happen this weekend, right? There was tournaments that happened. There was Canada Cup, I think. Yeah, that happened. So I just kind of watched Samurai Showdown for a minute for that, and then watched the very polarizing play of players from pools to top 8. And
It was a good play.
pools was not really. It didn't really get really good to top 8, or like
Okay.
right before top 8, because I mean you could see the skill gap just.
Wither away.
Yeah, it's just really,
Yep.
really top heavy. Something else went down this weekend too. I don't remember what it was, but something else went down. But I don't really remember. Yeah, that's all I got. I did something else, but I don't remember what it was. So it was not really anything huge or eventful. Just kind of I think I played a little bit of Final Fantasy, played the update, and then moved on with my day to play something else.
I feel you.
Started playing a little BB. Actually started kind of learning a new character out of boredom, and I really think I'm missing something else. I feel like I was ready to talk about something.
Well,
Oh,
a lot of stuff happened.
yeah,
over the
my
course of
bad.
the
I
weekend.
I know why. Because I was thinking of Guilty Gear for Sunday. And that whole blow up, which I'm sure is going to be talked about
Oh yeah.
tonight. So and then yeah, that's really all that's all I really waiting for the weekend. I just wanted to see what was going to happen with Guilty Gear and then see everyone's reactions. And I got what I wanted. So I'm just here for the ride now.
I respect that. Like, EJ had asked me about it earlier today, and he was like, "How did I feel about it?" And I was literally the same way. I was like, "There's 2 sides to it, and I'm literally the dude sitting back just watching the
Oh
world
yeah.
burn.
I mean, I'm
Like,
definitely taking in the conversation of just like I think some things that's been shown so far is kind of silly,
mm,
and I got one friend who's kind of like trying to defend it. And I'm just like, why are you defending this? This like makes no sense. And I think the biggest thing for me is seeing Potemkin. Uh, his anti-air grab is not an actual grab; it's a hit grab, so you can block it. And it's just like, what? Okay, like this makes no sense whatsoever. And my friend's like trying to defend it, and I'm just like, no, like one, you don't play Potemkin, so you don't really understand. Two, you don't play like really a grappler in that sense, so you don't understand. But I'm like, yo, if I'm Potemkin, and if I make a read, my read should reward me with damage. My reward shouldn't be, oh, you're back in the mix up. I got to
right.
make one more read. It's like,
So
what's stopping me from up backing? But yeah, anyway, I don't want to go too deep into it just yet.
judging by where this is going, do we want to start this off on Guilty Gear 2020?
We
Is that where
can.
we want to start it off? All right, I guess we can go ahead and start it off.
And no, not like they're gonna say anything
All right,
anyway.
we can go ahead and pop it off. I guess we can start with your guys' opinions. Outside of, so I watched the stream, and obviously you watched the stream. Did you watch the stream, Nick?
Nope, didn't care to.
Have you seen any of the footage or anything regarding the game?
I've seen the picture of Potemkin doing this.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, that's about it.
All right, so I know me and EJ, we watched the stream, and Greg has watched the stream. So let me ask your opinion. So how do you feel about Guilty Gear 2020, Greg?
Um, so from a character standpoint, it's still vanilla, which we all expected.
Right.
I don't care for any of those characters outside of Soul because Soul's the really interesting one so far, which isn't really saying much. Um, but outside of the character aspect, I think the game right now is kind of whatever. Um, I mean, I know it's alpha, but like if they're this deep in already, I don't think much is going to really change in the game itself. People are just kind of like trying to say, "Oh no, don't worry, give them feedback." Like we'll get feedback, but like I don't think the feedback people are going to give is going to be in the end. I don't think like majority of what they want back is going to be in the end game. I could be wrong, but I don't hold
No,
much
I,
hope
I
on
feel
that.
you. I feel what you say with that though, because the directors and all that generally have an idea of where they want to go with the game as it is anyway.
Mhm.
And I'm pretty sure the stuff that people are complaining about that they want to see back in the game
Mhm.
isn't intended in that path. Because
Yeah.
if it was, it'd be
It would have been
Exert.
there.
It'd be
Yeah,
Exert.
it'd have been there already.
Like this isn't Exert. It's a new entry into it, so they
Yeah.
got a different focal point with it. So I don't know. The people I saw complaining about it were splintered between two different things. A lot of people
Yeah.
were complaining about the visuals and the HUD.
Well,
And,
yeah, that's all. Obviously, that's
but
all early stuff.
yeah, honestly, looking at it, it clearly looks like a placeholder.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it's uber basic. It's
It
just
doesn't take half the damn screen up either. Can't see
Right.
half the stuff. Like so I didn't realize the risk gauge is there, but it's extremely small. You can't see it because it's under the player portrait,
Yep.
and you don't really realize it's there until
No.
like someone's attacking you and you see the little bar under the player portrait cranking up. But like you wouldn't have known if it wasn't there if like someone didn't point it out or if you're like specifically dissecting every bit of it. And I'm just
Mhm.
like, when we were talking when Kai was being shown off and talking about how he cranks up the risk gauge and he gives the debuff, which I think is kind of wild, but cool, but wild. They were like, "Oh yeah, it cranks up the risk gauge." I'm just like, "Where's the risk gauge? I don't see the risk gauge. Like this is cool, but like, how am I supposed to know the risk gauge getting cranked up?" And then yeah, I think someone pointed out like the risk gauge is under the character portraits. I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to see this little small ass thing, as opposed to where an excerpt in previous Guilty Gear games has always been under the timer in the middle. Some like stuff like that, like you can kind of tell it's not intended to stay. It's just kind of throwing everything together just to
Yeah.
have something to present to people.
Yeah, it clearly looks like a placeholder to me.
Yeah.
As far as their idea behind it being they're not really having hard knockdowns in the game, and even so with like corner pressure and such, if you get a corner combo, it pushes back into the second portion of the stage where you get reset into the middle.
Yeah.
It seems like they're really garnered behind this idea of getting rid of the Oki game to improve the footsie
Yeah.
and neutral
That's what
game
most people
of
are
the
kind of
game.
talking about. Is specifically the fact that like, oh, nothing really leads to a hard knockdown outside of like these specific things or these like one or two moves, and even then you don't get much pressure off of it. I think the biggest things that I think we talked about in the South Florida Discord was Potemkin as a whole in this game and how it currently
Son,
is in this game.
when me
Uh,
and EJ were watching the stream, I'm sitting there laughing the whole time because I'm like, dude,
yo,
they
this
look,
this
they
this
fucked him,
character,
they
they
fucked him, yo.
like so I don't know. I feel different because I'm like, yo, he's a grappler, right? So he's this big
Hmm.
character. Obviously, Pot's known to kind of be struggle bust outside of like maybe like one Guilty Gear iteration, but
Right?
it's like, yo, like Heat Knuckle is air blockable now.
Yep, it's a hit
Um,
grab.
um, what you call it? Slide head or whatever
Yep,
is
it's a low.
blockable.
It's a
It's
low now.
blockable. It's a blockable now.
Hmm.
It's just like, all right, so two of his big games to kind of like get in or to kind of call things out are basically not great right now. So it's like, all right, so what's this character supposed to do?
Right.
Because he gets you in a corner, and this character is all about grabbing you. Like his damage is from getting command grabs, either from the air or from the ground. So it's like, all right, so he gets a ground command grab, but then like as I'm seeing, I'm just like, what's stopping me from just doing up back or just fuzzy jumping out of his pressure because I
That's
can block.
literally the first thing I said.
Yeah, I was like, I can
Eh,
block Heat Knuckle, so that's not a threat anymore. And it's just like, all right. And my friend was like, well, you get plus frames. So like that's not the point. Like I have no reason to hold any of his mix up on the ground now,
Yep.
except for just
Outside when he's
doing.
got meter for Heavenly Potemkin Buster. That's
Yeah,
it.
like I'm just like,
But
there's no reason to ever be scared.
outside of that, he's gonna be like a up back monster unless
Yeah,
they
like what do
change
you?
something.
I didn't really. I know it's alpha build, and it's like, but I would
It's
think
just
if you
really
know
weird.
it like it's not like he's a new character. He's a legacy character, and if
Yeah.
Heat Knuckle from alpha build is blockable in the air, there's a problem. I assume there's a problem. Like that's something you don't just make blockable from the get go. Even in alpha, like you're pretty set on making that be blockable, at least in my opinion. But it's just like I don't understand what he's supposed to do in this game when everyone else is just doing the normal stuff they've always been doing, and this character's just kind of walking, or he's doing hammerfall, or he's just doing what he always does, which is struggle to get in. No hard knockdown, so his go-to moves aren't hard knockdown, so he can't get in reliably. He can't call out people up backing all day reliably. And yeah, so I'm like, what is he supposed to do? Like, ground normals are blockable in the air now,
Yep.
so like
I
what is he supposed to do?
I just didn't like. I'm just shaking my head. I was shaking my head the whole time when they were just
Like,
showcasing the character. It's
I'm like this,
I don't know what they're doing.
like
I
his
don't.
best his best update so far, which isn't even really a great update, is his stance. That's like the biggest update he got.
Yeah.
Everything else is just like, what is this character doing
Do
here right
now,
now?
yeah. Like I was kind of upset about the look of the character because it's like
It
everybody's
looks the
got
same.
yeah, it's
He looks,
literally
yeah, he
Exert.
has more detail.
It's Exert Pot. The only thing
Yeah,
they changed was his eyes.
yeah. He literally looks more detailed.
I was kind of disappointed because like when they showed Chip, I was like,
Mhm.
Jesus, it's like Chip is buff. I was
Yeah,
like, what the fuck? Like it was kind of weird. And then like they actually changed the outfit out,
yeah.
and did
He
the
got
same
small
thing
changes.
for the other four characters. It's the
Hmm.
same thing. They got those subtle changes in their outfits and such. But Potemkin, they're just like, yeah, we're just gonna make his eyeballs look like cameras. Like
He
it's
is a new
like, all right,
stance.
cool, yeah,
Somebody
yeah.
somebody try to explain it. They said Potemkin doesn't need that because every time you see him, he looks more robotic, and pretty
Well,
much he needs to
I
sustain his own
see.
power
I
and
saw
blah
I
blah
saw
blah.
the thread that explained what the stance was, and he's saying it's a judo stance, which is cool. But it's just like, well, you could have changed his outfit still. I mean, you could have gave him an updated outfit to further increase his story of why he's in this outfit as opposed to
Yeah,
what he
Pe-
was like. But
people just trying to find a reason to.
Reaching,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I don't know. So as far as appearance, I guess across the board we're all in agreement that the game does look good, like
oh no, the game's
graphically.
beautiful.
I feel like the only complaint graphically I had with it is that the snow stage looked terrible. I
You
it
think
think
looks
it was
so?
so bad.
like
It look,
amazingly
ooh.
like bland.
I think the best thing in that was the lighting because that lighting reminded me, at least the lighting reflecting off the characters, because it reminded me of Kuum stage in Exer,
Mm,
where
right.
you're in that left corner and that blue light hits the back of the character.
Uh
That's honestly like the reason I like that stage. But then I saw some people talking about how the characters blend in too easily to the background.
that's what it looked like to me
So
with the snow
yeah, it just
stage.
sounds like they haven't actually like fully put all the lighting structure in yet on the characters.
Yeah, for what they have done though, it definitely looks better than next
I
year.
know
I'll say
it definitely
that.
looks great.
You know, so that's cool. But honestly, at the end of the day, it's like it's the same thing we talked about in the pod before. It's like, are we more impressed by what the graphical prowess of these games are, or the gameplay? It's gonna come down to the fucking gameplay, because that's what's gonna keep you playing. You know, there are people out there playing games from like a decade ago that look like shit now, but the gameplay is good enough to keep them there. You know, so. I think as far as the conversation goes with the panic button, whereas should people be afraid of what's going on with the development of this game, I feel like it's way too early to be hitting that.
Yeah.
If you want to hit the panic button, I feel like the appropriate time would probably be around like February, March. Because if it's looking the same then, this is probably what you're gonna get.
Yeah, you already know what you're expecting.
Because the shit is called 2020. Well, they don't call it 2020, but it's coming out next year. Like this game is coming out next year, so. At worst or at best case scenario, it comes out Q4 next year, so they have a whole another year to work on the game. Worst case scenario is they try to push it out before Evo, and it comes out like
a BB tag
or something.
It's gonna come out before Evo.
You know?
I'm guessing.
I don't know if Daisuke would do that.
Yeah, if it's an alpha stage,
considering
they have to be like mad working right now.
Considering that Exerd came out around holiday time, like it came out, it was like I think December.
Yeah, it was.
So hopefully they like, you know what I mean?
I think the only reason why you won't see it before Evo, obviously because it's alpha, it's still in the alpha stage, and that would clash in with Grand Blue and they clearly don't want Grand Blue Under Night kind of like.
Yeah. I hope they space out like you're saying, so it won't cannibalize the other communities.
Yeah. But it's Arxis, so you know it is what it is. You're literally gonna have like a 3-month stretch of like these newer games like doing that to each other. So this month, at the end of the month, you get the update to BB Tag, and then you get a little bit of hiatus with December going into February for Under Night and Grand Blue. They're coming out the same fucking month. Like,
yeah, I think they're a week apart.
Jeez, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously?
That's crazy. It literally just hit me.
Yeah, literally a week apart.
That's fucking wild. Yeah. Well, I don't know. If I were to give an estimate, I believe it's coming out Q4.
Yeah, I wouldn't say anything till after Evo for anything.
It all depends.
Maybe the last build will be at Evo. Let's just go with that.
I'll tell you what though, if they keep pumping these characters out, like every month they're showing us two characters, then it might actually come out before Evo.
But then you have to wonder how many characters are going to be in.
That's the thing. I'm surprised they have the 6.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what I mean?
I'm guessing 16.
Because I was expecting that they were only going to have 4 for the demo. 4. But the fact that like they have the 6, it's like who else do they actually have that's not necessarily playable, but you know what I mean, almost ready to be in the game. Exactly. You know?
I mean, the way I honestly thought they were going to do one returning character that was not in Exerd and one returning character.
Right.
Or rather, they were going to do one returning character that was not Exerd and one new character.
Right. That's so it'd be something like either Anji or like
I honestly expected like Anji or Pop or Timken.
They played
Anji a new character.
Yeah, they definitely was safe. They were definitely safe picks. But at the same time, it's like I understand it because it's an alpha, but still, you know,
that way you get an understanding of the game.
Right. I mean, yeah. Well, it's still like you know they're trying to figure out the mechanics. Like you know what I mean, like outside of like what the characters do, but like you know this whole like wall break system shit and
that is pretty weird.
The new RC mechanic, you know, and they changed Dust. Dust is different now.
Yep. No chip kills.
You know?
I got a question for y'all real quick.
Sure.
How do y'all feel about the combo system in the background of the characters?
Okay, so I know they were. I didn't really pay attention to what they were saying on the Japanese side of it, but they were trying to explain how air combos work now because you really didn't see it when they were like playing the demo. You know, granted, nobody knows what they're doing because they've never played it before. But it seems like they're kind of deviating away from that from what they said, and they also said that they were deviating from like really long combos and stuff like that.
There's no air tech either.
Right. They're trying to just get straight to the point with it. As far as the corner thing goes, I know you were making a big deal about it, EJ, where the fact where they're getting rid of
corner pressure.
It's
gone.
You know, where it's like you're just getting assaulted in the corner, you got to figure a way to fight your way out. But now it's like if you get destroyed in the corner, eventually that wall breaks, and then you
Yep.
get reset and you get set
Yeah,
back
we
into
were
the
we
middle
were
of the
talking
game.
about basically either you take the guaranteed damage with the wall break, or you give up damage to keep the corner. And
Oh my
you
goodness.
know,
That's,
yeah.
It's crazy, right?
I mean that's the thing, but like when you get the wall break, they can't burst, and
True.
I think they get a power boost or something. So
Yeah, I don't
at
know.
least if it was corner break, like the corner break should like be like Tekken, like stage transition. You still can continue the combo or something. At least to
that'd be
get
too
like
much.
some type of Oki.
Yeah,
That'd be
the
too
way
much.
they're doing it doesn't even make any fucking sense because there
Yeah.
aren't even walls there. Like you're just getting hit against this
Yeah.
invisible energy shield that eventually cracks, and then you go flying across the fucking universe into the next portion of the stage. You know? So like I've already seen a couple of they've been doing a couple of memes. So they had like Soul just going ham on Kai, and he does a Fafner, and then it goes into the Joker slide. Like
that was really good.
So, I feel like, see, it's not my call to like give my opinion on it because it's what the developers want. Like they're designing it this way. Like if I had my say on it, right, it'd be certain moves that cause the wall break, and then you like combo into those moves, and then you get that. Otherwise, like you get a choice, or you get a choice. Yeah. You see what I mean? Like you get a choice for it. But now it's like you don't even get an option. That's my personal spin on it. But obviously, that's not what the developers are looking for because they're designing it however the fuck they're designing it. From what it looked like in the demo when they were playing, it looked like 3 confirms, and then you go through the wall. Like that's what it looked like to me. And that was like anything. That was like a combo. That was like you get thrown. Like anything that led to a wall splat or a wall stick of sorts. It broke that wall.
Yeah, that's not cool.
So yeah,
in my opinion,
I think it's kind of fucked up too because like let's say that on that 3rd confirm, you actually got a pretty decent confirm that has a wall stick. You're losing damage for that shit.
Yes.
Like
the other thing that we were talking about, does the wall itself have like HP value? Like, can you do like 2 hits, let them fall, and then like reset it, or like is it like stuck at 2 hits and then that next hit, regardless if it's part of the same combo or not, does it break the wall? Like,
that's a good question.
Yeah, like do we know?
I can't confirm it, but from what it looked like to me was it didn't reset.
Yeah.
So it's like if you hit the wall 2 times and then let's say somehow you got mid screen again, and then you got hit over there in the corner again, you went through that shit.
Or what if it's like a combination between the two, like what you guys are saying, like. If you use a special move in the corner, then you can possibly get the chance to push them through.
See, that leads to a bunch of questions too, because it's like, what if different special moves or such had a higher ratio of breaking the wall? So instead of it being 3 hits, it's 1. Instead of being 1 hit, it's 2.
Yeah.
So on and so forth. Like, there's a lot of shit to dissect from it. You know what I mean? Even though it's just an alpha. I don't know. It was funny because I saw a tweet from Kizzy. And Kizzy's like, he was pretty much, thanking them for letting him come out to play the game and shit. And then he's like, guys, stop sending fucking hate mail to ASW. like literally people are going ape shit and crazy over it. Like, how do you guys feel about the reaction of the community?
I mean, you know why Kizzy said that.
Yeah, show boys.
Well, because he's sponsored. He's being sponsored by Arxis. That's one thing. But the other, I mean, I personally don't mind. I think that discourse is needed. I mean, I'd rather people be upset than just be happy-go-lucky with it. Like,
let it be.
Yeah, I'd rather people actually voice their disconcern than act like nothing's wrong. The way it's done is probably not the best way for most people, but I would definitely rather have people be split like this as opposed to everyone just accepting the fact that it's new and it's different and it's like I can't wait. Yeah, so I mean, you have the obvious people who are just going to be like, yeah, this game is so fun, you should play it, and then you got the actual people who are just like, I don't like how this looks, I don't like how this works, this should be like that. Like, I rather that it adds more discussion.
Right. Now, see, with Guilty Gear 2020, it's actually crazy this time because usually with the FGC, when we're put in these type of situations and such, the top players are the ones shilling the game, being like, it's going to be okay, guys, yada, yada, and whatever. But from what I've seen on Twitter, it's divided up there, too. Yeah, there are some top players that are really upset about what they saw with the game. And then there are other ones that are like, you know what, just wait it out, guys. Like, you know what I mean? They're asking for input and, it could possibly change. But there are a lot of people hitting the panic button. Yeah. Like, it's really divided.
Usually the top players are the ones that are calm everybody down. But it's just like, no, they're also split right down the middle too, where it's just like you got some that are saying, don't worry, wait till we actually get our hands on it, they can provide feedback, and other people just like, this shit looks like trash. Like, I don't want to play this.
Yeah, I seen Marlins too. And I know how much he loves GG, and he was like, "This isn't very GG like."
I mean, you had Marlon saying it wasn't like
Yeah.
GG. You had Teresa saying he wasn't really impressed with it. Who else like really?
There was somebody I should have fucking saved.
I think Majin
really
Obama
didn't
was
care.
talking about he didn't like that crap
Mhm.
either, and then Jayuna's on the other side saying that wait it out.
Good.
So
Jayuna's a
yeah,
show
it's
anyway, though.
definitely a bit of a discourse on both sides from top to bottom.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. So what I was explaining to EJ earlier was, because he had asked me about it. He was like, "How do you feel about it?" And that's when I was like, "I'm literally staying out of it. Like, I don't care because I don't play Guilty Gear anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just watching the fire happen." But my opinion of it is, right, the people that are pushing the panic button and the people that are upset about it, I feel like their complaints are warranted, because if you think about it, until now they got this alpha build of the game, and until this game was announced in the first place, they hadn't had any updates. They hadn't had any news regarding Guilty Gear, and this is the first thing that they see. So this is what's causing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and it's not like Guilty Gear hasn't been around for a few years. Like, everyone's still actively playing
it,
ready
right,
for this to get to drop.
right.
So there's you're playing Rev 2 right now, and Rev 2 right now looks completely different from 2020. You're just like, yo, what is this? This is what we're expecting.
Exactly.
But I'm not about this.
And then it's people learning from the matchup too, because if you remember when before BB Tag was released and they were talking about it with the interviews and such, and they were talking about how they were making the game more simplistic because they wanted to bridge the gap between player skill levels between the East Coast the East Coast and the Far East.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So on and so forth between American players and Japanese players, and they were making the game more simple. And before we got any type of footage for Guilty Gear 2020, Daisuke in an interview was saying the same thing. He was like, he feels like Guilty Gear is a little bit more complicated and it's harder for newer players to get involved in it. So it's going to be easier this time around. And now it's like we see the alpha and we see that like a lot of these mechanics that, were involved in the other Guilty Gear games, as far as, the hard knockdown state and so on and so forth, aren't really there. A lot of people are panicking about that because they feel like this whole wave of making fighting games easier isn't exactly, the right way to go about it.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually thinking about this earlier, and I kind of semi-tweeted about it earlier, and how it's weird seeing people saying that, or rather seeing that Guilty Gear is trying to be like toned down to be more accessible, and then you got Smash over here that's kind of just accessible to everybody, despite people complaining about how I gotta do actual fighting game motions. Like, I don't want to do this shit, but like, they're still playing the game,
right?
And they're still enjoying the game. Like, this not holding them back from playing it. But there's a nice medium for Smash players, both casually and like hardcore players, where you can still, like, even the hardcore players have their gripes about Smash, but they're still playing, and it's still relatively hard, and like, it's not really dumbed down in that sense, where it's catered to make it easier for the casuals to play, because I mean, even then the game isn't really made to be competitive. I mean, I think Ultimate's probably that first one where they really tried to make it more competitive, but they didn't drastically change it to the fact they want more casuals to play. Like, casuals can still play without being competitive, while still feeling competitive, and then the competitive players can still play while not feeling like they've lost anything. So it's kind of funny and awkward to kind of see that, like, Guilty Gear and Street Fighter and BB, in the sense of BB Tag, they're like all basically trying to
dumb
down things to kind of bring in more casuals, and it's not really working at all.
Nope, not
But then
really.
Smash is just doing what it's always doing, and then adding more characters that aren't even from Nintendo series, and casually they're excited, and they're happy. The actual, like, hardcore players, they're excited, they're happy. I mean, it's just like, it's not rocket science.
So with
like,
Smash, I feel like it's a little bit of an anomaly, because I feel with Smash 4 on the Wii U, they started to go in a direction of like, okay, let's tune the game for a more competitive scene. Like, Nintendo was aware, but the formula works so well. It's like, even though they're doing that, it doesn't really like hurt the game, right? Where with and another part of this, I'm sorry, Smashers out there. Another part of this is it's not a fucking fighting game, man. Like it's a party game. So that's why like
It's
that's
funny,
why it
they're
is.
like, yo,
That's like
this is a fighting game,
yeah.
right? But I gotta do these fighting game motions, like, well,
right. And this is
Hold
me
on,
not
hold on. Before you
all right.
continue, let's go with
jeez.
platform fighter.
Platform fight, right? I did call
yeah.
that. Yes,